it's hard to come back after last night's fire. That was intense. But let me jump into prayer real quick. Thank you, Lord, for bringing these men on the call this morning. I just ask that you use me as a vessel, that the words spoken today are from you, God. And I say this in your holy name. Amen. Can you guys hear me? I'm trying not to be too loud because everybody's asleep, but I did shut their doors. And if they wake up, that's on them. So I have a few scriptures that I'm gonna need some help with. One is Psalms 83, 1-4. I guess I'm gonna read that.
I'll do it. I got it.
And we got Ezekiel 22:27. Patrick. And then we got Zephaniah 3:3. Jay, Randy, Jay. Okay, those are it on the scriptures. So on this, I kind of have like a testimony too. That I was speaking to Alex and Patrick about this last night. So this lesson is about beware demonic spirits. So it's the series that we started Tuesday, Free Indeed series. So this one's titled Beware of Demonic Spirits. So while I started this lesson, I felt nothing but like confusion and doubt. There was a lot of things that were just entering my mind during this time. So I watched the lesson the first night and I was like, okay, that's good. And then the next day, you know, I was watching the lesson just because I'm trying to get the lesson in my head first before I start writing my notes. And then I get home from work and things are just a little chaotic at home. Me and the wife kind of get into it a little bit. And then this was on Thursday. So we're getting into it and I'm just like, all right, you go do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing. I need to study because she could see the stress. Because I don't know why I just get all stressed out on these messages, because I want to make sure that I get the lesson out for people to understand and hear. So I kind of want to get into it and she could see it on my face. So then we start like butting heads where everybody's getting annoyed with one another. So I just went into my garage and we're supposed to go to the gym with the kids so they could do the rock wall. And we had plans set up, but we started fighting and stuff. So I went to my room I went to the garage and then threw my headsets on and was just listening to this. And then boom, I started getting attacked right then. Well, I was probably being attacked all before that because me and her started fighting and stuff. And before she leaves, she comes in, she's like, I'm gonna take the kids, we're going to the gym. I was like, fine, bye, peace. And then I am sitting there and nothing but the thoughts that are getting louder in my head are just doubt and confusion and frustration. And then I start to doubt this pastor, Robert Morris. I started doubting him just for things that he was saying. I was like, that can't be true. Like, and I'm sitting there stuck on certain words that he says in this lesson that I'm like, is this dude like lying? What is this about, man? This does not make sense. And then the wife comes back into the room and she just, I don't know, the Lord hadn't been present this time. She just comes back in and she's like, what is going on? And then it's like, I take down all my walls, take my earbuds out, and I'm like, I show her the video and I started like expressing my frustration in this pastor. And she's like, she kind of smirks. And she's like, well, once I told her the lesson, she was like, well, then she smiled. She's like, it just makes sense. Why not be attacked right now when you're talking about demonic spirits? And then everything dropped. And I was like, you're 100% right. Put everything down. We went to the gym, we worked out. While I'm working out, I'm just listening to it again, but I was listening to more worship, and and things just starting to clear up. Came back, that was Thursday night. Um, so I stayed home from work Friday just to make sure I got to finish this lesson. So Thursday night I started writing all my notes because things started to clear up. So I started from the back of the lesson and moved my way forward where the confusion was. And then things started to clear up. I was praying on it that night, woke up Friday, dropped the kids off to school, and then tried to go to the gym. While I'm at the gym, I'm praying, or on my way to the gym and way home, I'm praying for clarity. And boom, everything just hit me. And then so I stopped my run at the gym, went home and finished the lesson. Then comes freedom night, and then my whole lesson changed after that. So everything that I was to write, all these notes that I had, I pretty much scratched the whole first page, which was crazy. But I will say this, that everything's been lining up since Monday when I went and I reached out to Paul Martinez, not the Apostle Paul. And I was like, hey, lately I just been feeling like more hungry to get into the word and discipleship. And so I called him up and was like, hey, I'm not sure what this is supposed to look like, but I'd like to meet up and just talk about it. And then we're sitting there talking, just normal conversation like we normally do. And then I was like, oh, so the reason why I wanted to meet up with you is just I wanted to get more into the word. I wanted to do more discipling. And he breaks it down so simple. He's like, you've been doing it. Just keep doing what you're doing. How it looks is just your normal conversations with the people you're around. Like after you've been saved, obviously there's a light and you might not be able to see it, but other people see it. So other people are drawn to you. So he was just explaining how simple it was just to have conversations. And I'm thinking it's more than that. And he starts explaining just like we have a vision and a covering. He went over this last night too in more detail, but we have a vision, a covering, and that's our pastors. We all have the same vision, and that's God. So we just get in line with that, and you just share the word. It was just that simple. The way he broke it down last night, he broke it down more detail, which was it's crazy how everything lines up. Excuse me. So that was going on. So it's just crazy how things line up. So then I'm getting a little bit more into this. So in this lesson, they're talking about the prophet Habakkuk. Habakkuk was before Christ. But in that book of Habakkuk, he's basically crying out to God because they're destroying his people. So he's crying out to God and he's complaining to him. So Habakkuk 1:6, it says, I'm rising up the Babylonians, a cruel and violent people. The Babylonians also means Chaldeans. This is where my confusion happened because the pastor in this lesson, he was saying Chaldeans in the I just forgot the name of the book, but it's when I was Googling it, and he was saying that it basically says the Chaldeans are demons. So I'm like, what? You just said to call some people demons like that? Why would you just call a bunch of people demons? I'm thinking it's like a tribe. Well, it is a tribe. Back then it's like a tribe. Or a religion, but he's just straight calling them demons. So I was like, what? That don't make no sense. And then so I started to Google it because I wanted to know, the definition of Chaldeans, because in some verses they'll say Babylonians, which were taken over at the time. So it was a tribe, but though the people at that time, what they did is the Chaldeans is a person versed in occult arts. So what occult is, I had to look this up too, is someone that practices mystical and magical beliefs. So like voodoo. So the Chaldeans or the Babylonians, they were just all pretty much doing bad things at that time. And God was allowing it. So that was Habakkuk's cry to God, like, why are you allowing, my people to pretty much burn or die or act crazy? And if you read Habakkuk, his first verse, he talks about, he's complaining and says, "Oh Lord, oh Lord, must I call for help, but you do not listen. Violence is everywhere. I cry, but you do not come to save. Must I forever see the evil deeds? Why must I watch all this misery? Wherever I look, I see destruction and violence. I'm surrounded by people who love to argue and fight. The law has become paralyzed, and there is no justice in the courts. The wicked far outnumber the righteousness, so that justice has been perverted." So this is in the New Living Testament. Other verses it'd be a little bit different, but that's him complaining because he's raising up Chaldeans. And what they did is they took over the land. They tried to take over, gain control. So these Chaldeans just are running amok, and they're taking over. They're gaining control. So I want to talk about 3 points. One, since Chaldeans are demons, or they operate in demonic things. One point is they are thieves. So in Habakkuk 1:6, they're trying to take over places that are not theirs. So they were raised up just to destroy and take over. So can I have, who is reading Psalms 83, 1 through 4? Is that Kyle?
Yep, I got it. All right. Psalms 83, 1 through 4 says, "O God, do not keep silence. Do not hold your peace or be still, O God. For behold, your enemies make an uproar. Those who hate you have raised their heads. They lay crafty plans against your people. They consult together against your treasured ones. They say, 'Come, let us wipe them out as a nation. Let the name of Israel be remembered no more.'"
So showing how these demons are just basically taking over. And then Psalms 83:12, it says, in the New King James Version, it says, "Who said, let us take to ourselves the house of God in possession." So demons are just taking, and that's what they do. They find a way in to take over. So demons, that's pretty much their whole resume, is just kill, steal, and destroy. That's all that's on the resume. So, and you have to think, like, who would they come after more? The ones that are saved, because it's those they want to attack more because they're the ones already saved. The ones that aren't saved, they're already working in them. So we're trying to pull those ones, to be saved and work for God's kingdom. So demons are going to attack us before they attack them. And the best way to get in is from open doors that lead by the little sins that we do. They'll come for, one thing is your heart, or your heart, but your thoughts is like the biggest thing, the biggest attack, I think, for me at least. So in Matthew 12:43 through 45, this is Jesus talking. He says, "When the evil spirit leaves a person, it goes into the desert, seeking rest, but finding none. So it's out there wandering, seeking. Once it's casted out, then it says, I will return to the person it came from." So it returns to the person. So what we do is we cast it out. We cast out that demon, and it goes, it tries to find wherever it can, the next little weakest area it can come back to. So when it comes back, because it can't find anything, it'll come back and it'll find the former home empty, swept, and in order. So we cast it out, we clean up ourselves, right? And then the demon goes out since it's been casted from you, it'll go out and it'll get 7 more demons, 7 more of his homies. Like, hey, look, man, this dude just kicked me out of this body, man. I've been working on him and he kicks me out. So it goes back and gets 7 more. And obviously they're stronger and bigger. So, and they're more evil than the one before. And they try to enter the person and live there. And that person is usually worse off than they were before. So have you ever seen someone, or have you ever been one of those persons that, you know, boom, you've been saved, you feel good about yourself, everything's going good, then life hits you again, then demons start attacking, they get attached to you, then you're even worse off. We call it backsliding, or just, you see those ones, if you weren't there before, it's the ones that show up, they're always around, everything's exciting, and slowly they creep away. And then life hits them and they're just stuck somewhere. That was the demon, you know, getting his homies back to come back and attack that same person. So that moment that you're clean, one, you have to find dominion. And I spoke last night, is finding dominion of your thoughts, which is so huge, because our thoughts are the ones that are getting attacked. So Paul said last night, it's those thoughts that you have to find dominion over. And even though the enemy will come back 7 times stronger, but if you have had dominion in those thoughts, that you're even stronger, you're better off, because, you know, you're putting the armor on to just waiting for those demons to come back. Plus, and that's a good way to, you know, stay connected with, or get into the word, or praise more, or worship more. Because once that demon is casted out, he's going to get help. That's what he does. He's like, man, they just kicked me out of this body. I need some help. And they're coming back. We're always being attacked, especially if you're following Christ. You're always going to be attacked. So this is kind of why we do these calls too. I mean, we hold each other accountable. We sharpen each other's skills just with conversation, and then we get into the word, or we worship. Point number 2 is demons are vicious. They are vicious. So in Habakkuk 1:7-8, they are dreaded and fearsome. This is the ESV version. They are dreaded and fearsome. Their justice and dignity go forth from themselves. Their horses are swifter than leopards, more fierce than evening wolves. I'm gonna stop at wolves because they're just like wolves, and I'll explain why. But they also say that in the book too, in scripture. If who was that? Patrick, if you can read Ezekiel 22:27, please.
Her officials within her are like wolves tearing their prey. They shed blood and kill people to make unjust gain.
And then Zephaniah, I said it all wrong. Who was that, Jay?
Yep.
Please.
Her princess in her midst are roaring lions. Her judges are evening wolves that leave not a bone till morning.
So wolves, they feed at night. And when do you think demons attack? Demons are attacking at night. They do their most work in the dark. So that's why I'm going to go with wolves, because wolves, they hunt in packs. Demons, I looked up wolves, they hunt in packs of 6 up to 27 or 36. I think 27 is the highest. But they hunt in packs, just like demons. I mean, once you cast them out, they go back and get some more people to attack. And Paul said in Acts 20:29, for I know this, that after my departure, savage wolves will come in among you, not sparing the flock. So even the Apostle Paul was saying, you know, once I leave that, and he refers to wolves, but we're talking about demons. And the way wolves work is they spread out, so that pack will spread out and surround, we'll say, a flock. They'll surround the flock, and what they're doing is they're studying, they're watching how you move, how you operate, what you're doing, just like what demons do. They sit back and watch what you do, what you like, your thoughts, what you're sinning, all your sins, and they watch, and they're just studying, and they want to pick out the ones that are isolated, the ones that are complacent, just like those thoughts. If those thoughts get louder for you, like doubt, fear, just any of those negative thoughts, as they get louder in your head, that's when the enemy's coming closer and closer, just like a demon would, just like a wolf would. They pick out the ones that are, not saying you're weak, but if you're opening those doors and those thoughts are getting louder, just know that you're starting to be attacked. And it's when you recognize that is when you start to have dominion in those thoughts. But we all had those bad thoughts, and we've all sinned before. But that's when the demon works. It's magic. It's when you're weak, isolated, beating yourself up, and then they draw closer and closer, and that's when they attack, just like a wolf. Number 3, they are cunning. Demons are cunning. They're crafty. In the book of Daniel 2:2, this was when Nebuchadnezzar was asking them to determine or interpret his dream. He was having nightmares, so he calls the magician, a sorcerer, and an astrologer to interpret it. Well, they're all Chaldeans, because they operate in magic. So like what does a magician do? They're like an illusionist. So their whole plan is to distract you so they can finish their trick. That's what magicians do. So magicians distract you so they can deceive you. What do sorcerers do? A sorcerer deceives you by actual spirits that can tell your future, like tarot card readers or all the other crazy crap. But they use that to tell your future. And then astrologers, they use the stars and stuff and horoscopes and all that stuff. Well, to sum all that up, what demons try to do is distract, deceive, and determine your future. So those are those thoughts in your head that are trying to deter you to where they want you to go. So if there's something you're afraid of and they know that, well, they're going to throw those thoughts in there like, hey, you're not good enough. And those thoughts get louder and louder. Well, demons are trying to distract and deceive you. You just need to know your purpose and take dominion over those thoughts. So we do is like in Ephesians 6:11, you put the whole armor of God that you may be able to stand against the schemes of the devil. That's the best way to combat these. Is one is worship. 2 is to understand like you're being attacked, to take dominion in your thoughts, because the enemy is out there to get you. For one, in the Bible, it lists 7 categories of demons. I'm just gonna run through them. You don't have to write them down, but there's 7 categories in the Bible listed as demons, and one is thrones. Not all thrones, but thrones is one. 2, lordship. 3, rulers, authority, principalities and power, rulers of the darkness, and evil and unclean spirits. That's a demon's organization. I know our organization's a lot stronger, but you still have this organization coming after you. Basically, you have all these demons coming after you, and that's how the devil operates. Satan has his crew, I guess you could say. But it's a whole dang organization, and they're always coming after you, and they're always going to go after the ones that follow God first, because you're going to be the ones that pull the next person out. And Daniel 7:25 talks about Satan saying he shall wear out the saints of the Most High. So that's pretty much his mission right there. That is the devil's mission, is to wear out the saints of the Most High. So you know you're going to be taxed. So this is the time that you do need to get in the Word. You do need to get connected, get involved, because when you're isolated, you're pretty much an easy target, because you're just stuck there in your thoughts, and that's where they're going to attack you. And them thoughts are going to get louder and louder, and you're going to start believing those thoughts, and that's where he wants you. And with that being said, that we're going to open up for discussion. I hope that was all clear, and I hope someone got something out of that.